Hello my dear beloveds, welcome to this video. I would say Happy New Year to all of you, but this is not the new year. And this is something that people must remember, must understand. They have been manipulated, and I don't necessarily mean you right now, these current generations. I mean the ancestors from long ago, but things that ever since the calendars have been changed, there's been very little talk about this, and for good reason, because there have been incidents like the Inquisition and such prosecutions from the state that were exactly meant to keep people in silence and not talking about the important changes that happened. And well, because of the silence, many things have been left to almost, to be almost forgotten. But this is why many of us are incarnate today, to bring remembrance of some things which were forgotten. And one of these things is the calendar. This is not the new year. This is the new year only in a society of consumerism, where the new year is just a celebration of, again, consuming alcohol, consuming music, consuming places like restaurants and different clubs on the New Year's Eve, consuming trips. That's probably the least bad. But the one with alcohol and blindly celebrating a new year without fully understanding what a new year means, well, this is a topic that, awareness must be brought to. So, what does a new year actually mean after all? Because many people go ahead into what they call a new year without even knowing what a new year means. They basically think that a year means just a number of days and that's it, and just a means for humans to track time. In essence, yes, it is a means to track time, and it is a collection of a certain number of days, but not only. A year is basically a full rotation around the sun, if we're talking about the way of the earth spinning around the sun. But at the same time, since we see it from an earth perspective, we see as if the sun is rotating in the sky. In any way you want to phrase it, it's the cycle of the sun throughout, guess what? All the zodiac signs. This is what the year used to mean. Because a full rotation of the earth around the sun means that from our perspective on earth, we see the sun passing through the ecliptic through all the 12 zodiac signs. So this is what the zodiac means. The zodiac is a calendar, basically. It's not just a calendar, but it's also the calendar, the correct calendar. And the right new year, zodiacally, astrologically, and naturally, starts at the equinox, at the spring equinox. And this is a moment that the ancients used to celebrate as the rebirth of nature. And you see it in nature at the moment of the spring equinox. Nature bursts with life. There is a new breath of life all around you. Flowers start blooming. We see a lot more green. Just, there is life. Nature catches life again. And This was the new year astrologically, and still is the new year astrologically, because that's when the first zodiac sign starts, which is Aries. And that's the first zodiac sign, and it is associated to the head, because every zodiac sign is associated to a certain part of the human body. And it's associated to the head, is the first zodiac sign is the head. Taurus is a little bit of the face features, especially those around sensing, like the tongue, and the neck. And then Gemini, it's the shoulders and the arms and the lungs. And then the sign of the crab is the tits and the chest. And then Leo is the stomach and the heart and the spine. Virgo is the intestines. And Libra is the not the shoulders, the hips and the bottom, the buttocks, the butt, the ass. And Scorpio is the sexual organs, Sagittarius is the thighs, Capricorn is the knees, Aquarius is the calves, and Pisces is the feet. So this is how they go in terms of body associations. And this is their nature. Aries is the first zodiac sign and Pisces is the last zodiac sign. But by what we have now in this current society, this is the new year doesn't even happen at the changing of a sign. We don't even change a zodiac sign when we celebrate a so-called new year. We're still in Capricorn. The new year currently comes after the winter solstice, which is the moment when the sun starts gaining more momentum and the days become longer and longer by the time of the spring equinox they get as long as the nights. So either looking at this at the winter solstice or at the spring equinox. These two are the 2 points in nature where we celebrate the power of the sun, because the winter solstice is, as I said, the rebirth of the sun. That's as I said, the sun gains more momentum. The days become longer and longer, and at the spring equinox, well, day is equal to night. And the summer solstice is the moment the sun reaches the peak and the day is longest, and then the days start growing shorter. So these are basically the points in nature that humanity used to guide itself in ancient times. And these points, the equinoxes and the solstices, are the basis of the zodiac. The whole tropical zodiac is based on the solstices and equinoxes, on the solstice and equinox points in nature. So Aries starts at the spring equinox, Libra starts at the autumn equinox, the sign of the crab starts at the summer solstice, and the sign of Capricorn starts at the winter solstice. But this was meant to be forgotten. The importance of astrology was meant to be forgotten. And the importance of esoteric astrology, most of all, the importance of the spells you can do with astrology, and the kind of internal work and internal alchemy one can do using the wisdom of the zodiac. Well, basically the whole wisdom of the zodiac was meant to be forgotten by the vast majority of humankind. You look at most people nowadays and you ask them, what do you think astrology is? And they'll tell you what they've been told, which is that astrology is a pseudoscience. It's not a pseudoscience. Astrology is the fucking mother of all sciences. Astrology is the science from which all other sciences descend. And I mean it. This is the first science that humans ever had. This is from ancient history of humanity, an ancient history which is far beyond the official antiquity of the official history currently. So, how did this happen? Well, basically, the Roman Empire. I suppose you all know how strong the Roman Empire was and how much power it had over the people they controlled. And they could afford to pass into forgetfulness a lot of notions. And well, the burning of the library in Alexandria is probably the most iconic moment in terms of the dark ones or the stupid ones, because at the end of the day they're stupid for trying to control other people and put them in slavery under them. Those dark, stupid entities which want to enslave humanity and bring them to rot. They wanted to destroy humanity's history and alongside that their whole identity. And guess what? They kind of managed. A lot of the history of humanity is buried and forgotten and confiscated. Just think of the Library of the Vatican. No one has access there, and everyone knows that there is a lot of information there. But the Roman Empire decided to take some action so that the people wouldn't celebrate the stars anymore. The real stars. I'm not talking about Hollywood stars. And yes, that move with Hollywood stars and adoring the Hollywood stars. Oh yes, that was a great move of the dark elites to bring even more brainwashing to the people. But that's another topic. But it comes in its roots, this idea of the Hollywood stars comes exactly from the fact that in truth, it is the real stars, the stars in the skies, that humans looked up to for ages, not years, not centuries, for ages. And talking about school, in an ideal world, astrology would be taught in school. But yeah, we have a long road until then. Just a moment, please. So the Roman Empire decided to move the calendar. And you have this in history. There wasn't just one moment of changing the calendars. There were more. We know the Gregorian calendar, the Justinian calendar. But thing is this. Even if you look at the months as how they are today, you see the flaws of the current calendar. Why? Because the name of the months says it all. The names of the last months of the year, starting with September. Basically, up until September, we have names of, let's take June, that's the name of a goddess, Juno. And then July comes from Julius Caesar. August comes from Augustus. But then September comes from the Latin word for 7, which is septe, or something like that. I don't know Latin that well, but my mother tongue of this lifetime is out of all the Romance languages, it is the language resembling Latin the most. You can ask any person studying languages and they'll tell you this. And actually, everyone will tell you that if you want to hear how Latin sounded like, you come to Romania. And yes, Romanian sounds a lot like Latin. And in Romanian we have șapte, the word șapte, which is like the Latin septe, which is 7, and which is the root of the word September. Septe, September. And then we have October, which comes from the root of the word 8, which is octo. October, octo, meaning 8. And then November comes from a root word that NOV is related to the Latin word for 9. And December, deca, means 10. Then January is supposed to be the 11th month, not the 1st. And February is supposed to be the 12th month. And then March was supposed to be the 1st month of the year. So basically, you have it in the name of the months. September is supposed to be the 7th month of the year, but nowadays it's become the 9th. It's flawed, and it's flawed for a reason. And they don't want people thinking about these things. They don't want people to know that September means the 7th month. And they don't want people to ask questions as to why? Why does it mean the 7th month, but it's actually the 9th nowadays? Well, it's because the Roman Empire changed the calendars. And then everyone in the world started following this calendar because of the European expansion throughout the world and the conquests and the European dominion of basically all the other territories of the globe in the imperialist age. But all of this put together, basically humans today are tracking time wrong. The time in itself is supposed to be according to the movements of nature. And these movements of nature are dictated by the sun, the equinoxes and solstices, the points of the equinoxes and the solstices. And between an equinox and a solstice, there are 3 zodiac signs. Between a solstice and an equinox, there are another 3 zodiac signs, and so on, making up the 12 zodiac signs of the natural horoscope. So, this is not the new year. This is just a phony pretense, like a lot of other things in the current human society, which is just a charade. Everything in this current human world is a fucking charade. Going to work in the way humans are trained to do for such pathetic wages and so many hours, so much time spent at work for nothing other than selling themselves, because this is what most people are doing. Going to work just for money and no purpose in your service, not treating work as a service to the community, something honorable, something meant to have purpose in it, something meant to, help others and really have substance in it, no, it doesn't matter anymore. All that matters is the money we get. And what we do with that, just consumerism. And everything in the human society is a pathetic charade, and the most concerning thing is that there is a vast majority of humans believing this charade and living their lives according to it. This is what's really pathetic and deplorable, and what really drags humanity down. But then again, there are also souls willing to awaken, capable to awaken and to stand their ground. And I thank you for that. So, yes, once again, I would tell you Happy New Year, but this is not the New Year. I will tell you Happy New Year in spring, at the moment of the spring equinox, when the night is equal to the day, and afterwards the day starts growing bigger and bigger, and nature starts smiling to us again. And hopefully we get back to a more stable and healthy relationship with nature as well. Because, by the way, the longer we keep living in the cities, the longer we stay subject to slavery, and the longer we keep living in the cities, well, basically my message is abandon the cities, because soon there will come the moment of the 666 moment, of the chip, and of, well, you already know it, most of you, of social credits, of you not being able to do anything, say anything, think anything without the so-called authorities punishing you for what they deem wrong in your thoughts, deeds, and words. So, basically, this is this year, 2023, and 2024 and 2025 are years when we must gather our resources and head towards the wild, the wilderness, and build communities there for ourselves. Because in the cities, what will come is literally the apocalypse. So, prepare. We still have a little time left to prepare, to abandon the cities and go into the wild and have our communities there. So I encourage you to think of that and prepare for that. Because if you will still be in the cities, it won't be nice. So, let's do something. It's the fucking age of Aquarius. We have the stars smiling at us, and we basically have wind in our sails. So, brace yourselves and let's do this.